What are protection risks? Across the globe, millions of people are caught in an escalating cycle of humanitarian crises, driven by conflict, climate emergencies, and systemic neglect. For those affected, this means severe hunger, forced displacement, and grave violations such as violence against children, gender-based violence, and other forms of exploitation and abuse. These hardships strip people of their safety, stability, and dignity, making it nearly impossible to rebuild their lives. Combined, these shocks and threats create protection risks, conditions that endanger people's safety, dignity, and access to basic rights and essential services. Protection risks can manifest in various ways, such as threats to physical and mental well-being, barriers to accessing essential resources, services, and opportunities, the erosion of legal and social protections, loss of autonomy and dignity, limiting people's ability to make informed decisions and exercise self-determination. Protection risks arise when threats surpass a population's ability to cope, prevent harm, or recover. Two critical factors influence this balance: vulnerabilities, conditions or circumstances that increase a person's or community's exposure to harm, such as poverty, displacement, social exclusion, legal barriers, or discriminatory practices. Capacities, the strengths, resources, and systems that individuals, communities, and institutions can leverage to mitigate or recover from harm, including social networks, resilience mechanisms, and local institutions. Together, vulnerabilities and capacities determine the extent to which people can withstand and recover from crises-related harm. The goal is achieving protection outcomes. Protection outcomes are achieved when risks are reduced and people are safer, more resilient, and empowered to make decisions about their lives. Effective protection responses not only mitigate immediate risks, but also foster conditions that uphold human dignity, restore self-agency, and contribute to long-term recovery and stability. Understanding four key dimensions of protection risks ensures humanitarian, development, and peace action reinforce each other for greater impact. Context. Understanding the social, economic, legal, and political environment that shapes the crisis and influences protection risks helps identify the root causes and dynamics of protection threats. Analyzing the context can indicate flood-prone communities with weak infrastructure and legal protection causing displacement. Threats. Actions or inactions that cause harm, such as violence, coercion, or deprivation. Identifying threats clarifies who or what is responsible for causing harm, how harm occurs, and which groups are most affected. Threats analysis can identify, for example, children in conflict zones at risk of recruitment, guiding humanitarian safe spaces, strengthening of local institutions, negotiation with armed groups and passing of laws criminalizing child recruitment, consequences of the threats. Understanding the impact of threats on individuals, families, and communities helps identify who is most vulnerable and where capacity-building support is most needed. Analyzing the consequences of a threat may identify, for example, a displaced family facing physical harm, distress due to loss of their home and identity documents. This in turn can direct humanitarian response and guide reconstruction, local social support, and legal services. Capacities. Identifying and analyzing the resources, skills, and strengths individuals, households, and communities use to withstand threats and recover from harm. Strengthening and building on existing capacities within affected communities can identify, for example, water-saving techniques or community networks in drought-prone regions that could be built upon by developmental actors, whilst reinforcing mechanisms to resolve water disputes. Identifying and addressing protection risks enables the effective response to urgent humanitarian needs while shaping lasting solutions. When humanitarian response, development, peace-building, and political action work together, guided by protection risks, real protection outcomes become possible. This restores dignity, safety, and resilience to those in crisis. For more information on protection analysis and protection risks, please visit our website.